Looking at the course outline, I see that the topic of discussion today, this is week 4, session 4, is writing basics. Writing basics, grammar and mechanics. So, as the name suggests, this class is a discussion of the basics of writing at sentence level. Writing basics, some mechanics, punctuation, capitalization, mechanics, the nuts and bolts of writing. As the name also suggests, mechanics is the nuts and bolts of clear writing. And grammar. We cannot look at everything concerning mechanics, nor can we look at everything concerning grammar, and that's why only the basics. Before we start beginning from next week, session 5, looking at the paragraph when we go beyond the sentence. So today's class is focusing on the sentence construction, sentence level, just to make sure that these basics are understood and applied. Mechanics and the grammar. But details of these issues, especially grammar, can be obtained from a separate grammar class. Only basic issues, understanding sentence types to create or add variety to your sentences. Alright, and so we have today the subtopics are then the subtopics under this big topic, writing basics, grammar and mechanics. We have capitalization rules, punctuation marks, the most common, not all punctuation marks. We're not going to deal, for example, with colon, with the rule, with the hyphen, with the dash. So there are other punctuation marks, but we're not going to deal with all punctuation, just the most common in writing. And sentence types. We may also, depending on time, quickly look at connectors and the issue of citation and the plagiarism. Many of these topics will be revisited in the future, in the coming classes, and so they will be reinforced in subsequent weeks. This is just part of the introduction, and this I might call like part 1 to the course. Part 1 to the course. So beginning from next week, we're going to move into part 2, and that is paragraph writing. And after we introduce paragraph writing, we're going to move into part 3, and that is essay writing. So this class is part of part 1. Alright, having said that, I would like to introduce the presenters or the heroes of today's session to share with us what they have planned. And after that, I am going to resume the floor, maybe after a short break, and go through the same issues in some depth, depending on how deep or clear your classmates will present. So there are many exercises. By the way, this handout, these pages taken from one of the references we're using for this course this semester. The book by Falls the writer false and colleagues. The pages as stated in the course outline are 204 until at least 220. So you should have already printed them out just like me, and you should have gone through them, and the pages should be now in front of you stapled like this. So I hope that everyone is having a copy. Okay, so the presenters can start. Writing basics, grammar and mechanics.
Alright, so Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. My name is Radia and my group members are Ali Omara, Ain Hanani, Nurin Sofia, Amira Fahana, Irina Tasha and Siva Rosini. So today our group will be presenting about capitalization activities. Next. So basically this particular topic contains 3 subtopics: basic capitalization rules, punctuation marks and sentence types. So we're going to go through one by one. So the first one is basic capitalization rules. So there are basically 5 rules. Rule number 1, always capitalize the first word of a sentence. So basically every time we want to start a sentence, we have to capitalize the first word. For example, several factors contributed to the failure of the plan. So basically the first word several, and we need to capitalize the word as. Next one, all flights were delayed because of the weather. So the word all, we need to capitalize the word a. Rule number 2, always capitalize the word I no matter where it is in the sentence. So since the word I is quite special, so no matter where it is in the sentence, we need to capitalize it. For example, John brought the dessert and I brought some drinks. So even though it is in the middle of the sentence, we still need to capitalize it. Next, the winners of the contest were Nathaniel and I. So still, even though it is in the end of sentence, we still need to capitalize it.
Alright, I'm going to continue next. My name is Alia. So the third one is, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, it's loud and clear, and it's sweet too.
Okay. Alright, thank you. Okay. The third one we have is the capitalized proper nouns, which are basically the names of people, places, or things. So I have 5 examples here. We have Simon Bolivar, the Statue of Liberty, Oxford Street, New York, and Harvard University. So the ones that I highlighted in yellow are the ones that you need to capitalize. Next, moving on, we need to capitalize a person's title, which includes Mr., Mrs., Miss, and Doctor. So the examples I have is Mr. Hill, Mrs. Sophia, Miss Jane, and Dr. Elizabeth. So titles can be as simple as Mr., Mrs., Miss, and Doctor. But they also apply to situations in which you address a person by his or her position as though it were part of their name. For example, I'm writing my report on President Abraham Lincoln. So the P in the president is the one where you need to capitalize it, along with Abraham Lincoln. Thank you.
That's why we capitalize the D in doctor, for example, when we address or when we write about, our professors. So Dr. Jane, yeah. Dr. Here we have an example. But I don't see Dr.
Exactly.
I don't see Dr. Aladdin among them. Only Dr. Elizabeth. And this is something Alia should pay attention to in the future, Umaira.
Okay. The fourth one we have is we need to capitalize the names of countries and other geographic areas, names of people from those areas, and the names of languages. So I have 2 examples here. The first one is people from Ireland are called Irish. They speak Irish or English. So the ones that I highlighted in pink are the ones that you need to capitalize it. The second example is people from Germany are called Germans. They speak German.
So next, I'm going to continue. We're going to move to capitalized titles of words. Capitalized titles of words such as books, movies, and pieces of art. In a title, we need to pay attention to which words begin with a capital letter and which words do not. For example, A Sea Without Life, The Weather in Chicago and Miami, and To All the Boys I've Loved Before. There are 3 simple rules for capitalizing titles. The first one is always capitalize the first letter of the title. If the title has more than one word, capitalize all the words that have meaning or contain words. The last one is do not capitalize small function words such as a, and, the, in, with, on, for, to, above, and all. Next. Punctuation activities.
Excuse me, before we go to punctuation, let's still because maybe instead of me coming back and talking about capitalization rules, maybe we can in a pedagogic manner, you and me constructing knowledge at the same time, pedagogy side by side. Can you first of all, any one of you, summarize these 5 rules for capitalization? What are these 5? When do we capitalize? The 5 rules. The presenters, I am talking to you. Can any one of you please summarize the 5 a summary. What are the 5 rules? What are the 5 things we need to capitalize? Huh?
So basically we have 5 capitalization rules. Number 1, always capitalize the first word of a sentence. Number 2, always capitalize the word I, no matter where it is in a sentence.
All right.
Number 3, capitalize proper nouns such as the names of specific person, places, or things. Capitalize a person title, including Mr., Mrs., Miss, and Doctor.
All right.
Number 4, capitalize names of countries and other geographic areas. Capitalize the name of people from those areas. Capitalize the names of languages. And the last one, capitalize titles of works such as books, movies, and pieces of art.
All right.
And the last one basically has 3, which is always capitalize the first letter of the title. If the title has more than one word, capitalize all the words that have meaning, like content words.
Right.
And do not capitalize small function words such as a, and, the, in, with, on,
right.
for, to, above, and all.
Right. Can you please now do this? Add this to your slide. Number 2, capitalize all the words that have meaning. Write between the brackets after meaning content words. Add content words in brackets after meaning. You can do this now in front of us. So yes, dear students, titles, the title of the book, the title of an assignment, the title of a paragraph, the title of an essay, the title of a thesis, you capitalize major words, not minor words. You capitalize content words, not function words. Have you written content words? Radia? Radia, in the slide now,
Yes.
in front of us now,
Yes.
write content words between the brackets after meaning.
Continues.
Capitalize all the words that have meaning. Write content words between the brackets.
Oh, I'm not the one who's presenting. Irene, can you please?
You should, guys, be attentive and cooperative. Nur Nadira, why so late, Nur Nadira? Should I deny her entry? Should I deny her entry? Okay, we forgive her this time, but please remind her that. Well, I will remind her. Nur Nadira, I was about to deny you entry. Please be on time next time. Okay, number 3, do not capitalize small words, right words after small. Okay, afterwards now brackets, open brackets, and write function words. All right, now you can represent the comma should be close to the bracket. Yes. Why so late, Nur Shamsina? I will deny you entry next time. Please be on time. Go back to that slide, the last slide. Okay. So do not, as you know, words are content words and or function words, or we also call them major words and minor words. Or open words and closed words. So minor words or function words, words whose function is usually grammatical or syntactical rather than semantic. So words such as prepositions, pronouns, unless this pronoun is I, we do not capitalize. I am drawing your attention to this because I do not first want to see in any paragraph you send to me a function word being capitalized. Do not capitalize prepositions and other, what we call function words. Words that do not carry much semantic content. The meaning is only for grammar, for relations. For example, the book on the table. Now, on is a preposition. On is a function word. The function of on here is to link the book and the table. The book, the table, the book on the table. So, do not capitalize function words. I see, unfortunately, even master's students sending us the work, the thesis, their project paper or thesis with function words being capitalized in the title. So when you look at titles nowadays, titles of books, titles of works, pay attention to which word is being capitalized and which word is not being capitalized. So avoid capitalizing function words, as I said, such as the prepositions, pronouns. Yeah. All right. Before we move to punctuation marks, let's work together on the exercise or the activities, the capitalization. These are the capitalization rules, basic ones. Let's look at some capitalization activities or exercises on page 205. Activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, and we still have 4 and 5. Are you on the same page now? Okay. Activity 1. Circle the words that have capitalization errors. Make the corrections above the errors. Okay, do this now, all of you. Remember the 5 rules, what to capitalize. All right. Radia, can you
Yes, doctor.
tell us about the corrections,
Uh,
the
uh,
errors,
so
and the errors and the corrections about capitalization in these 5 statements?
Right. So activity 1, circle the words that have capitalization errors. Make the corrections above the errors. So number 1, 2 months that are more than 30 days long are March and July. So basically, the first word 2 is in small letters, so we need to capitalize the word T.
All right. So T, because this is the big. Tell us the reason. Because this is the beginning of the sentence.
It is applied to rule number 1, which is we need to capitalize the first word of the sentence.
The first word of any sentence must be written in uppercase. Okay. 2.
Number 2, why does February never have 30 days? So it's the same. The first word, why, we need to capitalize the word W.
All right. Always
number
capitalize the
3.
first word of a sentence. Fine.
Yeah.
3.
Number 3, in the original calendar by the Romans, September was the 7th month. So the word Romance is, we need to capitalize the word R since it is a proper noun.
That's right. So this is rule number
3.
3.
Yes.
Capitalize proper nouns. Whether
Yes.
these nouns are nouns for, names of cities, of people, names of cities, names of people, names of countries, names of whatever this, names of companies, names of etc. etc. Seas, oceans. Okay, next.
And the word month is, we need to, the word M, we need to make it in a small letter.
That's right. There is no the word month at the end of sentence 3. There is no reason
Yes.
to capitalize month. So be careful, guys. Okay? It is not
next.
okay. For
The month of August was named for Caesar Augustus. So the word August, it's a proper noun. We need to capitalize the word A.
right.
And Caesar Augustus, the word Augustus, we need to capitalize the word A since it's a person's name.
Proper noun. Yes.
Proper
Number
noun.
5.
Number 5, the word April can be the name of a month or a girl. So the word April is a proper noun. We need to capitalize the word A.
That's also right. Thank you. You've done it well. Activity 2. Complete these statements. Be sure to use correct capitalization. You may need to consult a reference book or an internet source for some questions. By the way, the word internet, can you see it? The word internet is always Well, almost always capitalized, and usually with the word the. The word internet is written in uppercase and with the word with a definite article the. Unless it is used as a modifier, as an adjective, then there is no the. Otherwise, it's the internet, and internet is capitalized. Always in uppercase, by the way. Okay, number 1. The acronym USSR is no longer used because the country does not exist. USSR stood for the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. The chat column. Union of Soviet. Make sure please that you capitalize these words now. That's the point, because this is a proper noun. The name of a country. Now it's Russia. This is Russia nowadays. Previously, before 1991, it was called the USSR. But after the collapse of the USSR in 1991, the disintegration of the USSR, it became Russia. And many of the parts of USSR became independent countries, have become independent countries. Okay, number 2, Anisa.
The 9th month of the year is September.
Ahmed, close the window, please. Come again, please, Anisa.
The 9th month of the year is September.
How do you write it? Small letter or capital letter? Do you write it with a small letter or a capital letter?
Capital letter of S.
Okay, that's the point. Number 3, Sandra. Amr.
Is the capital of Turkey.
So, what's the capital of Turkey?
Ankara.
How do you write it? Use the chat column.
What is it?
All right, Larissa, the next.
Toyota with a capital T.
Sorry. Larissa, number 4. One of the most popular brands of automobiles is?
Toyota.
Okay, any one that you like. Maybe you can Proton Wera, I would say.
Okay.
So the kind of brand you like, you can write. I will write Proton Wera. Proton Wera. I have written myself Proton Wera because my car is Wera. So it must be the most popular brand in the world. Not the Chevrolet, not the Mercedes-Benz, not the BMW. Okay. Philia, 5.
The first person to walk on the moon was named Neil Armstrong.
Wow. You know him? Very good.
Yes.
How do you spell his name? Oh,
Yeah.
even you know the spelling. Good. Neil. Notice that it is E-I, not I-E. All right. The rest of this activity you can do please at home, and you can check with your classmates. Look at activity 3. Read the following titles. Rewrite them with correct capitalization. Okay. Who can do the first one? Radia, the first one.
The causes of war, capitalize the word T.
Only?
The causes of war.
Title, or the causes of war, the word T, and then the word causes C, and then war, W.
Yes. This is not a sentence. That's a title.
Yeah, I
It cannot be a sentence because there is no verb.
Yeah.
As we shall talk about, sentence type when we talk about sentence types in a minute. Okay, number 2, Sevorushini.
Some common reasons for leaving college, we have to capitalize the S.
Only?
Yes.
How come? Radia, please tell her.
This is this is some titles of, I don't know, books or movies maybe. So yeah. It's not a sentence.
Oh, so we have to capitalize some, the S, common C, reasons are, leaving L, and college C.
Yes, please. Alamak, be attentive. These are titles. Okay, number 3. Muhasdila.
Yes, doctor.
Come on, move.
The big,
Yes.
the Beatles' contribution to rock music. We have to get capitalize the T.
Okay.
Beatles B. Contribution C.
Mm-hmm.
R, and the music M.
All right, very good. Veena Kumar, the next.
My first day working at a restaurant. My M, and then first F, day, D, working, W, at a restaurant, A,
Sorry?
at,
What should we capitalize, Veena?
M, my,
Okay.
first F,
All right.
day, D,
Okay.
working, W,
All right.
at a restaurant, at R.
Veena, you see the slide? This is slide. Read number, the rules for capitalizing titles. Read number 3. Read the bullet number 3, the bullet statement.
Do not capitalize small words, function words such as A and D in.
So do we capitalize A?
Sorry? No, we don't need to capitalize at and a.
Okay.
So it's just a restaurant, R.
Yeah, the restaurant. So do not capitalize function words unless the function word comes at the beginning of a title, because every word at the beginning will be capitalized in a sentence, in a title. Number 5. Can we have city?
The impact of high gasoline prices. The T, impact I, high H, gasoline G, prices P.
Alright, please do the rest at home. Look at activity 4. Read the following paragraph, circle the capitalization errors and make corrections below the errors. Okay, you have 2 minutes. Hurry up, all of you. Alright, so who can read the whole paragraph? Who can point out the errors in punctuation, in capitalization, and make the necessary corrections? Can I have one of the members, apart from Radia? One of the presenters?
I'll try, Doctor.
Go ahead.
Okay, so one, not smart enough to be a robber. So the first smart, S, you need to capitalize it. Enough, you need to capitalize it.
Excuse me, again.
Not smart enough to be a robber.
Kyrina, you're very late. Okay. So the title of the paragraph, capitalize.
Yes.
S.
Capitalize the smart, the S. E, enough.
E in enough.
T, two.
Alama.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, you need to capitalize smart, S, E, and R, robber.
Yeah, to and be and are function words. Articles, prepositions are function words. Do not drive me crazy. Okay, robber. So always in not, but not is already in uppercase. Smart, enough, and robber. Okay, next.
Yep. One night, two guys decided to rob a small store. You do not need to capitalize S in small and store.
Alright, so
Small
store, lowercase. No need, because this is not a proper noun. So no need to capitalize it. Okay, they got
inside the store and began to put things in a bag. There's no errors in there.
Fine.
That one.
Fine, go ahead.
Okay, Officer Jenkins was driving his car by the store at that very moment. There's no correction as well. Suddenly, the robbers saw the police car near the store. You don't need to capitalize
Lowercase, yes, that's right.
Yes, lowercase. They rushed outside, but they did not have time to escape. There's no corrections. There were two big bushes near the window, so each robber went behind one of the bushes. You need to lowercase the bushes.
That's right, because it is not the name of something, not a proper noun. Okay. Officer.
And then Officer Jenkins saw one of the robbers and grabbed him. Jenkins, the J you need to capitalize it
Right.
because it's a proper noun. The police officer said, "All right, come on, all right, come with me. Now we have you." So you need to capitalize the A, all, and also you don't need to capitalize the U.
That's right. Move on.
And then, as the police officer was taking away this criminal, the robber looked back at the other bush and said, "Hey, come on, Mike, they've caught her." So you don't need to capitalize the word criminal. And also, Mike, you need to capitalize the M.
That's right. Thank you. All right, Jodel, can you work on the next paragraph?
Yes, doctor.
The next paragraph, paragraph 27. The same thing. Read and tell us what should be capitalized and what should not be capitalized.
Okay, so the first one, title, Facts about the month of September.
Uh-huh.
The facts, we need to capitalize the F.
So, facts, uppercase, all right?
M, we need to capitalize.
Fine. Okay, that's the title. Move on.
Yeah.
So in the title
September is
only two words, facts and month. September is already capitalized. The other words are function words. Okay, next.
September is the 9th month of the year. And the word F, we need to capitalize.
The beginning of the sentence, okay,
Yeah.
September, next.
However, the word September comes from the Latin word septem, which means 7. The S to September.
What,
We need to capitalize.
however, the word September, are you sure?
However, the word September. Yes.
However, the word September,
Comes from the word Latin word. Latin, we need to lowercase.
why?
No, Latin is okay.
Latin is the name of a language.
Yes. Septem.
No, we shouldn't capitalize septum.
Oh,
I think nor should we capitalize September. The word September and septum should remain in lowercase. Okay, move on. This disparity. Come on.
okay. Can I move on, okay?
Carry on, Jordan.
Okay. This disparity between 7 and 9 is because long ago a different calendar was used in which September was indeed the 7th month. The word this,
Okay,
T we need to capitalize.
the beginning of the sentence. Okay, next.
And then the September.
Right.
Okay.
This one we should capitalize, but the one in italics should not be capitalized.
Okay, got it.
in which September, now September is a proper noun, as a month. But the first September is explaining the etymology, the history of the word.
Doctor,
Yes?
but based on page 205, activity 1, if you look at number 5, word April has to be capitalized, right?
Well, 205, which activity?
Activity 1, number 5.
Uh-huh.
The word April can be the name of a month or a girl. So which word should be capitalized? Because April is also a word instead of a general word instead of a specific month or name.
The one on page 205 is definitely should definitely be capitalized. The word April should be capitalized. The one on page 206, however, the word September comes from the Latin word. Give me a second to look up the word September in the dictionary. When I look at the origin, there is no repetition of the word September. It says late Old English from Latin, from septem small letter, meaning 7. But September is not rewritten in the etymology. The word September, the word April. The word April, the word September. Although I have some doubts concerning September, but looking at the example in 5, as City pointed out, let's capitalize September also in this example. And I'll try to see if I can, ascertain this, because I have some little doubts. But for the meantime, let's also capitalize it. All right. So let's say that City has, I don't know, maybe a point. All right. Move on. The last sentence. 1.
Okay. When Julius Caesar, leader of Rome, redid the calendar, he designated September as the 9th month.
He designated. Okay.
So as we can see here, the name of the person, J and C, we need to capitalize
So
it.
Julius Caesar, the J and
Yeah.
C. Okay.
And then Rome, we need to capitalize. And
What
then
What about leader?
leader, stay
Sorry.
lowercase or
Radia, Alia, what do you think? You are the ones who presented this topic. Should we capitalize leader in leader of Rome or leave it in lowercase?
Yes.
What is yes?
You must capitalize. You must capitalize the leader.
Umayra, we want to see you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Keep the camera on. Are you feeling cold?
Okay.
Hopefully not. Okay, why?
Yeah.
So you're saying that we should capitalize leader. Why? Tell
Because it's a
Jodel
title.
why.
I'm sorry.
Tell Jodel why we need to capitalize leader.
Okay. We need to capitalize leader because it's a person's title.
It's part of a title.
Leader of Rome.
Part of a title, like
Yes, it's part
Dr.
of a title.
Aladdin, like a president or Prime Minister Mahathir,
Abraham Lincoln.
like Prime Minister Muhyiddin. So when a word is part of a title, it should be capitalized. It must be capitalized. Okay?
Got it, doctor.
So leader should be capitalized. Redid the calendar. He designated
September. Yes.
September as the 9th month. Okay, 9 month. Capitalized or no?
Nope.
No. All right. Well done. Hopefully these activities have, reinforced your now understanding of what should be capitalized and not capitalized. There is one more activity on page 207, but because we still have a lot, so okay, let's do this activity also. But we still have a lot of things to do. Okay, who can? Okay, take a minute on your own, all of you, to work through paragraph activity 6. And I'll select one of you to answer, but now all of you work on it. Was the best of times, was the worst of times, was the age of wisdom. All right. Who would like to read this paragraph and point to us the problems in punctuation? In capitalization. Who? Who is brave enough? All right. Since there is only one person who seems to be brave in the whole class. Well, he looks brave. He is a humongous in size. This legendary phenom, like the Undertaker or Big Show. All right, Luke.
All right. So the first correction is the title, which a summary of a tale of two cities. A, S, and then the tail, the T, and then two, T, and C.
C in cities.
Should be capitalized.
Brilliant. Next.
Charles Dickens published his great work, A Tale of Two Cities. Again, the letter A and the letter T.
But before that, there is one before that.
Oh, his second name, Dickens, should be capitalized.
Yeah, Dickens, his name. Okay.
Yeah. And again with the title, letter A, and the two letter T's and one letter C should be capitalized.
Right. So remember the A in a tale, this is the part of a title, not part of this sentence. Okay, and that's why it's written in italics. So in and A and T and C. Okay, next.
It was best of times, it was worst of times. The letter I in it should be capitalized.
The first word,
First one.
the first letter in the sentence, that's right.
It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. With these famous lines, Charles Dickens, his second name Dickens, D should be
Dickens.
capitalized,
D. Next.
opens this dramatic story, which tells of life in Paris and London. Paris, the P and L in London should be capitalized.
Marvelous. Next.
At the time of the French Revolution, the letter F in French should be capitalized. And R in Revolution?
Nothing could be more wonderful. Next.
Thank you, sir.
So
This famous
French and Revolution. This is a proper noun. The French Revolution.
This famous Dickens novel, again, the letter D in his second name should be capitalized,
Yes.
describes life in one of the world's most chaotic times. That L should be a lowercase.
L. There is no
And the
reason.
W.
There is no reason for life to be capitalized and.
And the W should be lowercase.
Brilliant. If I had a cake, I would have given it all to you as a reward.
Thank you, sir.
A legendary phenom. Alright, so I think we've grasped the basic rules of capitalization. All you need is just to practice, go through these rules again, and go through these activities again to internalize these rules. Make them part of your, grammar. Internalize them. And hopefully, I won't see any, capitalization rule missed errors in your writing when you give me a paragraph or an essay. Okay, wonderful. This has been done well. All you need is just more practice. Okay, the floor now, I'll give it back to the presenters. So let's move on to another issue under mechanics, and that is punctuation, and with punctuation marks. But before I give you the floor, let me quickly tell you a bit about what we mean by mechanics. So let me, can you please stop presenting? I will present. Alright, have you stopped the presenting? Let me quickly present. Here we are, your entire screen. Share. Where are we? Share. What should I share with you? My heart or my soul? Alright, the complete idiot's guide. The complete idiot's guide to grammar and the style. This is an excellent, entertaining and instructional book about the grammar and style by Lori Rozakis. Okay. So, grammar and mechanics. What is mechanics? Page 10. What is the grammar? Page 7. Page 10. Can you see me while scrolling? Are you grammar phobic? Okay, let's not talk about the grammar. Are you grammar phobic? Have phobia of the grammar? Okay, can you see this page?
Yes.
What is mechanics? Radia, can you read?
Sure, doctor. As its name suggests, mechanics is the nuts and bolts of clear writing. The 6 members of the mechanics gang are as follows.
The 6 members. This writer has a very funny, amusing way of writing. You can hardly not laugh when reading every page for her. The 6 members of the mechanics gang. By the way, mechanics, the E in mechanics sounds like the I in the same word. Mechanics, not ma.
All right.
All right. Okay. The 6 like 6, not like E in member, and so it is ma. No. The 6 members of the mechanic, members of the me. Mechanics gangs are as follows. Okay, abbreviations.
Capitalization, italics, numbers, punctuation, and quotation marks.
And so these are the 6 members of mechanics, the nuts and bolts of the clear writing. We're dealing now with capitalization and with punctuation, and maybe quotation marks. I don't know. So you're left with abbreviations, italics, and numbers. Maybe later on in the course we might, look at them. Can you read it? Can you read the definition of mechanics in the box? You could look it up. Mechanics.
Mechanics include abbreviations, capitalization, italics, numbers, punctuation, and quotation marks.
So now you have a clear idea about what mechanics means. So when we talk about the mechanics of writing, grammar and mechanics. Mechanics allow
writers to show the grouping and relationship of words. They signal pace and intonation. Best of all, they help you say what you mean clearly and so avoid misunderstanding.
Alright, so this is about mechanics. Allow writers to show the grouping and relationship of words. They signal pace and intonation. When to pause, when to carry on, how to sound. Because if it's, for example, an exclamation mark, then you should read it with with a rising tone maybe, and the pitch should be louder. Best of all, see the comma here, for example, I pause. Best of all, they help you say what you mean clearly and so avoid misunderstanding. Alright, so this is a quick definition of mechanics. Now let me stop presenting so that you can start or resume presenting. Why are many turning off their cameras? Alright, punctuation.
Next, we're gonna move to punctuation activities.
Let's say not activities, punctuation marks. The activities will be after we discuss the punctuation marks. Capitalization rules and punctuation marks. So maybe activities here can be changed into marks later on before you send me the presentation. By the way, do not forget to send me your presentation, and I will also upload it to my guru for everyone also to look at or benefit from. Okay, move on.
So for punctuation.
So now first we're going to look at end punctuation marks. First we're going to look at end punctuation marks. Okay. How many are they and what are they?
The three most common punctuation marks found at the end of English sentences are the period,
Full stop in British English, okay?
the question mark, and the exclamation point. It is important to know how to use all three of them correctly. With three, however, the period is by far the most commonly used. The punctuation mark, use punctuation mark. So the first one, period. A period used at the end of a declarative sentence. For example, this sentence is a declarative sentence. The second one, I have not breakfast yet. The second one is question mark. A question mark is used at the end of question. For
An
example,
interrogative sentence.
yes. For example, is it hard to remember the name of this mark? Why are you doing this to me? The last one is exclamation point. An exclamation point is used at the end of an exclamation. It is less common than the other two marks. In fact, a piece of academic writing, whether the assignment is a paragraph or an essay, usually has no exclamation points. For example, I cannot believe you think this topic is difficult. Second example, Sasha told me that you're having a baby.
But the way you read these exclamatory sentences is like a declarative sentence. You should read them with passion, with emotion, depending on the emotion communicated or conveyed. Whether it's frustration, it's happiness, it's joy. Sasha told me that you're having a baby. Wow, congrats, mazel tov. I cannot believe you think this topic is difficult. What's wrong with you, man? So you've got to convey the emotion when reading it.
Okay, I try. I cannot believe you think this topic is difficult. Okay. Next, Sasha told me that you're having a baby.
Wow.
Wow.
Congrats. Okay. No. Before we have a lot to say. I don't know what to say. When I have a lot, I feel overwhelmed. What to choose, what not to choose, what to add, what not to add. Of course, I can just keep it quiet but one of my problems is the fact that I like to give. But this usually comes into time. I like to give, but time is an issue. So I have to be selective. And punctuation. Okay, let me use the chat column now. Keep this slide. You've mentioned declarative sentence. Okay. The next discussion will be sentence types. Am I right, Radia? After we complete talking about punctuation, you're going to talk about sentence types. Am I right?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. What are the sentence types? Do not go to the slides. Just tell me. You're going to talk about. Radia, keep the camera on. What are the sentence types you're going to talk about?
There are four types of sentence types.
What are they?
It's simple sentences,
compound sentences,
complex sentences,
and compound complex sentences.
Yes.
Simple, compound, complex, and compound complex types of sentences. Okay, so this is one way to look at sentences. The way Radia is looking at sentences, the way she has classified them right now, is in terms of structural complexity. I am writing this structural complexity. Okay? Classifying sentences into simple, compound, complex, and compound complex. This way is, or this classification is in terms of the, excuse me, alhamdulillah. In terms of the complexity of a structure. We do not want to go into this because we're going to talk about this. Thank you. We're going to talk about this in a short while. But now we're going to classify sentences not from or in terms of a structural complexity, but in terms of the communicative function. So another way, another way to look at sentences is from the point of view of communication, the function in communication. So these are two ways to classify sentences. Communicative function. In terms of the communicative function, a sentence can be one of four types. Also, in terms of a structural complexity, there are four types. So, in terms of the communicative function, that is the function of the sentence in communication. What is the function? There are four types. These are, like the first type here in the slide, declarative sentence. So, declarative sentences. The second type or another type is interrogative sentences. The third type is imperative sentences. And the fourth is exclamative or exclamatory sentences. Okay. What is you? All right. So, in terms of the communicative function, there are four types of sentences: declarative sentences, interrogative sentences, imperative sentences, exclamatory sentences. Let's quickly look at these four types of sentences because they are related to punctuation, to end punctuation mark. Meaning, depending on whether a sentence is declarative or interrogative or imperative or exclamatory, we choose an end punctuation mark. Now, what is a declarative sentence? And I want you also to pay attention to the word order of these types of sentences because the word order is different in each time. So look at the three things now: the function of each sentence, the meaning, the punctuation mark used, and the word order. Declarative sentences are used to give information, to provide information, to declare something, to state something. This is a classroom. This is a declarative sentence. Allah or God exists. This is a declarative sentence. I am a Palestinian, a declarative sentence. I love you, a declarative sentence. I hate your guts, a declarative sentence. So, he comes from Jamaica. Declarative sentences provide information. They tell you something. They declare something. They make something known to you. And most sentences are declarative in nature. And most sentences are declarative. All right? In terms of the word order, declarative sentences have subject and verb. So SV, subject verb. I am a man. He comes from Jamaica. God exists. Birds fly. I hate Russian. So subject verb. The punctuation mark for a declarative sentence is a full stop, a period. Okay, done. Move on. Interrogative sentences. In terms of the communicative function, a sentence can also make a question. And so interrogative sentences make questions. They do not state or declare something, as in declarative sentences. So an interrogative sentence makes a question. Does she love me? Do you like potato? Is he a man? I'm not sure. I haven't checked. So this is the function of an interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentences interrogate. They make a question. Like an interrogator torturing a prisoner. He was interrogated harshly. His skin was flayed. His eyes were gouged. His teeth were extracted. His nails were removed during the interrogation. Where are we? Where are we? The word order of interrogative sentences is verb subject. So the subject and the verb are inverted. Subject verb inversion. Subject verb inversion. A phenomenon in grammar known as subject verb inversion. Okay, and so the end punctuation mark here for interrogative sentences is a question mark. Let's move on to the third type of sentence in terms of the communicative function. A sentence can, besides making something known or making a question, a sentence can also make a command or a request. Can communicate a request or a command. This type of sentence is known as imperative sentences. Imperative sentence. And so imperative sentences have two functions: making requests and making commands. Now be careful here. Let's first give an example of an imperative sentence. I will use the chat column. I have written a sentence, an imperative sentence in the chat column. Now, how should we punctuate an imperative sentence? I have left the end punctuation. I have left this word, this sentence unpunctuated deliberately. How should we punctuate an imperative sentence? Guys, I have a lot to say, so please help me. So that you can benefit from, the class time. Yes, darling.
It's either with a full stop or an exclamation point.
Depending on
the sentence.
Meaning?
Depending on the meaning of the sentence. Like for example, if you, for your example, you say sit down, it's better with an exclamation mark because it delivers the meaning when you scream or something like sit down, something like that. Not just sit down. It depends on the intonation of the sentence.
This is in spoken language. But in written language, there is no intonation. How do we convey in writing what is conveyed in intonation in spoken language? The punctuation mark. Okay, you've said that imperative sentences, like the one I have written, can be punctuated with either a full stop or an exclamation mark. But which one depends on the function, depends on whether the writer or the speaker means his utterance as a command or a request. So if it is a request, then it's a full stop. It's a full stop. And it's usually said with please. Please sit down. Please sit down. If it's meant to be a request, usually we use a please. Please sit down. Please come here. Please tell him that I love him. Please answer me as soon as I call you. Okay? But we punctuate an imperative sentence with an exclamation mark if it is meant to be a command. For example, sit down. Can you see it? And when reading these, depending on the punctuation, we should read if we are reading aloud. So depending on the punctuation, you will imagine whether this utterance is a command or a request. Please sit down. Sit down. Get out. Fuck off. Shut up. Come here, please. Come here. Give me a kiss. So these are imperative sentences. Okay, this is in terms of punctuation and function, communicative function. What about the word order in imperative sentences? In declarative sentences, it's subject verb. I am a man. He studies English. Interrogative sentences, we reverse the order. Verb, subject. Is he a man? Does he study English? What about the word order of an imperative sentence? Yes? Sit down. Is it a subject or a verb? What is the subject? What is the verb? In sit down, is sit down a subject or a verb?
It's a verb, sir.
Sorry?
It's a verb.
Okay, what is the subject?
The subject should be down.
Sorry?
Down.
Down?
Oh my god.
The subject is the one who does the action.
Yeah.
Or the one who, sit down is a verb. The whole thing is a verb. A phrasal verb.
Yes, sir.
So if I say come here, you would say that come is a verb and here is a subject?
No, sir.
Here is not a subject, it's an adverb. Adverb of location. Here. So what is the subject? Can we have a sentence without a subject in English? Every English sentence must have a subject. We're going to talk about in a short while about sentence types in terms of the structural complexity. So a simple sentence must have a subject and a verb. Every clause must have a subject and a verb. There are no sentences in English that have no subjects or verbs. These are the minimum two constituents. The minimum two constituents in English for a sentence to be a sentence. Birds fly. Birds, subject, fly, verb. So where is the subject in sit down? Or come here? Or give me a kiss? Or shut up? Where is the subject in imperative sentences? Who is the subject? Quickly guys, I don't want to turn this class into grammar. I have a lot to say. This is a writing class. No idea? City, you're smart, one of my smartest students.
I'm afraid if I might be wrong.
There is
But
nothing wrong in trying.
Right. But as you said just now, the subject is the one who does the activity. The one who's down.
There
I'm
is
a bit confused.
the definition of a subject is a story. We need a
Yeah.
3-hour class to define the subject. But generally, the subject is the doer of the action, or the one about whom we're talking.
Yeah, I know, but in sit down or shut up or sentences similar like that, there isn't a subject in the sentence.
Isn't? What do you mean? Are you contradicting me, or I am saying that? Does this mean that these are not sentences? Sit down. Come here.
Not a, it can, maybe it's a clause.
Sorry.
I'm also confused here.
Well, a clause is a simple sentence.
Oh wait, maybe it's a phrase.
These are sentences, not the phrases.
Then I don't find this up. I'm confused.
I am talking about the imperative sentence, not a phrase.
Right, okay.
And a simple sentence is made up of a clause. So a clause is an independent sentence. Sit down is a sentence. A sentence in English must have a subject and a verb. What is the subject? I am not
I
contradicting.
honestly don't know.
I am not contradicting myself.
Okay, sorry. Let me just look it up.
Is this a puzzle? Are we learning English or math? Okay, City. You can look it up later on. The subject, City, and I am talking to everyone, including the sleepy ones, the ones dozing behind the turned off camera. Where are we? The subject in an imperative sentence is you, darling. You are the subject. Faham? You are the subject because you are so special. If I say come here, it means you come here. If I say give me a kiss, it means you give me a kiss. If I say shut up, it means you shut up. The subject is implicitly understood to be you. And so it's like saying between the brackets, you come here. Please. Look at the chat column. The subject is implicitly understood to be you, the addressee. In every imperative sentence, if I say sit down, it means you sit down. Go out, it means you go out. Write me a letter, it means you write me a letter. And so the subject is omitted because it is implicitly understood to be you. Okay? So there is no contradiction here. There is a subject and it is always you in an imperative sentence. There is a subject and it is always you. Okay, are we clear? Move on. Exclamatory sentences. Now, an exclamatory sentence is a sentence that expresses a strong emotion. Whether this emotion is sorrow, joy, frustration, nostalgia, melancholy, whatever emotion. So an exclamatory sentence expresses an emotion. And exclamatory sentences are punctuated with an exclamation mark. Typically, exclamatory sentences begin with how or what. For example, what a lovely day. What a lovely day. What a great teacher. What a great professor. How lovely. All right. So these are exclamatory sentences. What a lovely day. What a great professor. How fantastic. All right. Where is the subject? Where is the verb? Look at these examples of exclamatory sentences and tell me where is the subject, where is the verb?
The subject is they.
Sorry?
The word they is the subject.
Day?
Yeah, in the sentence, what a lovely day.
Are you sure?
I'm confused myself.
Luke, you can be excused, but you shouldn't miss this discussion, Luke. So, what is the subject, guys? Every sentence must have a subject and a verb. Do you agree that these are sentences? The ones I have written in the chat column? Do they sound English? Or am I beginning to use German? Do you understand me, guys? So I speak English. And these are English sentences. Trust me, they are correct. So where is the subject, Sandra? Where is the verb, Umaira? How lovely. Where is the subject? Where is the verb? How lovely. Where is the subject? Where is the verb? What is the subject? What is the verb? Would you like to try, Siti?
I mean, I did try, but it's wrong. So to me, the word they is the verb, is the subject, and the rest of them is a verb. Same goes to what a great professor.
You mean what a lovely is a verb? What is a verb? How do we define verbs? A verb is a word that denotes action. For example, swim, dance, play, cook, move, sing, or a state of being. Feel, is, are, seem, look. These are verbs. Who is teaching you grammar? Who has taught you grammar?
I mean, I know lovely is actually a noun, but
No, lovely is not a noun. Lovely is an adjective.
adjective. Sorry. I mean an adjective. Sorry.
When I say you are lovely, you have a lovely smile, that's an adjective describing your smile.
Yes. But what lovely is the predicate of the sentence?
When we cannot find the subject, you want to talk about the predicate? What a lovely smile you have. Look at this sentence. What a lovely smile you have, City. What is the subject in this sentence? What is the verb? What a lovely smile you have. Come on. City, answer me. What is the subject in this sentence? What is the verb? What a lovely smile you have.
Okay, I think the subject is what a lovely smile.
Sorry?
The subject is what a lovely smile. And you have is wait. No, where is that?
I want English, not gibberish.
Sorry. I'm confused myself.
Oh, guys, you're gonna hate my guts today for making it difficult. Can anyone answer? Omaira, what is the subject in this sentence? What is the verb?
I think the subject is you.
It must be you. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Yes.
You speak good English. What is the subject? You, and speak
You.
verb, and good English is something else. We don't want to talk about it now. And what is the verb?
The verb is have.
Have, certainly.
And
What-
what a lovely smile is something else.
What a lovely smile you have. How lovely. Let's go back to the previous sentences, exclamatory sentences. The first one is, what a lovely day this is. What a lovely day this is. What a lovely day this is. What a great professor you are. What a great professor he is. How lovely this is. How lovely that was. Okay? Are we making sense now?
Yes.
So,
This is the verb. I mean the subject. Sorry. This is the subject. Is the verb.
so in what a lovely day, what is the subject? What a lovely day.
I still think it's a. Oh, you mean
Do you wanna
Yes.
do you wanna me shoot myself now?
sorry.
You don't mean
So,
to shoot
so the subject is this.
this. And the
This is
verb,
the subject.
what a lovely day. What is the subject?
The subject is.
And the verb?
I mean, the verb is.
Okay.
The subject is this.
Okay, what a great professor. What is the subject?
You.
Or he, what a great professor he
Yes.
is, or you are, depending on. And the verb
Yes.
is?
Yes.
And the verb is?
And the verb is are or is.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm
So the subject is not what, and the verb is not lovely.
okay, I get it. I get it now.
Okay, great. Step by step. Next, I would like you to pay attention to the word order of exclamatory sentences. The word order of exclamatory sentences is like the declarative order, subject, verb. And so, do not say, what a lovely day is this. Not is this. What a lovely day this is. This is not an interrogative sentence. Will you reverse the subject and verb? This is an exclamatory sentence. How lovely you are. What a great class we're having. Not are we having. What a great class we're having. We are having, not are we having. Okay? So pay attention to word order when it comes to these types of sentences. One last thing to add here is that not every there are other ways to construct an exclamatory sentence. I mean, typically they start with how or what, but they also can start with other things like the house is on fire. The house is on fire. So this is also an, what is it? So this is also an exclamatory sentence. You are expressing a strong emotion, and as you can see, the order is subject verb, like an interrogative sentence. Any questions about this part of the class? Okay, so and punctuation is related to whether a sentence is declarative, interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory. And imperative would depend on whether the function is a command or a request. If it's a command, an exclamation mark. If it's a request, a full stop. All right, shall we move on? Radia, Umaira, and the rest of the team, please move on to other types of punctuation marks.
All right. The next mark
Maybe,
is...
excuse me, maybe before we move on, let's look at one of the activities, activity 1. Okay, let's work on activity 1. Take a few seconds. Look at activity 1. Add the correct and punctuation depending on the communicative function, as we have discussed. Okay. Who would like to answer? Let me choose some. Let me go for the ones who might be dozing off. Okay. Halwana, Nur Halwana, quick! Wake up. You don't want to wake up, it's okay. Nur, okay, Nur Halwana. We have no time, please. Rushing against time. Number 1. Nur Shamsina. Number 1. City Rosnabila. Rosnabila. Okay, carry on dozing. We haven't heard from Vina for quite some time. Vina.
Yes, sir.
Yes, doctor.
Rejoice my heart with your sound. Number 1. Vina.
Yes, doctor.
Item number 1.
Wow, I cannot believe how tall you are. Add an exclamation mark at the end.
So what sentence is this?
It's an exclamatory sentence.
Yeah, exclamatory sentence. Read it again with passion, with emotion.
Oh, okay. Wow, I cannot believe how tall you are.
Fantastic, fantastic. Excuse me, fantastic. What type of sentence is this? In response to what Vera said, I said fantastic. Is this a sentence or not? And what type of sentence is it?
Exclamatory.
Where is the subject? Where is the verb?
You are. Or this is.
Fantastic. All right, Sidi, thank you. Number two. Vimilan.
Yes, doctor. Is Abigail going to take her dog for a walk? Add a question mark at the end.
Read the sentence.
Is Abigail going to take her dog for a walk? Add a question mark
What
at the
type
end
of
the
sentence is this? What type of sentence, please? Alama.
Question.
After all this discussion, and you cannot name this type of sentence? That's why teachers do not live for long. If you want to die young, be a teacher. If you want to lose your hair, be a teacher. If you want to lose your sanity, be a teacher. What type of sentence is this? If you want to lose your heart, be a teacher. Amira Farhan, what type of sentence is this? Number two.
Interrogative sentence.
Why do you say it with such pain? Interrogative, yes, interrogative. Number three. Nur Arena. Okay, I would like Sidi to answer this.
Me?
Yes, darling.
Number 3. Make sure you brush your teeth before you go to bed with a full stop. Is a command sentence. What's the name again?
Are you asking me? Or should I?
Wait, I'm asking myself.
Or should I ask you?
Imperative sentence. Yes.
Imperative.
Yes.
Okay, why have you interpreted it as a request and not a command?
Because it says make sure. It's similar to the word please.
All right. It sounds more of a request, so I agree with you.
Yes.
Next, Fila. How many?
Me, that?
Filia, quick.
Yeah, okay. How many people are going to the circus? At question mark. This is an interrogative sentence.
Thank you. Thasha?
Okay, number 5, Rick leaned the guitar against the wall. It's declarative sentence. Add a full stop.
Thank you. Muhammad Hizro. How are you? He doesn't want to answer me. It's okay. All right. Move on, guys. Go to the other punctuation marks you want to talk about. Am I still presenting? No.
Okay, the next commas. The comma has several different functions in English. Here are some of the most common ones. Next slide. Okay, the first one, a comma separates a list of 3 or more things. There should be a comma between the items in a list. For example, he speaks French and English. No comma is needed because there are only 2 items. She speaks French, English, and Chinese. It need commas because there are more than 2 items. Okay, the second one, a comma separates 2 sentences when there is a combining word which is coordinating conjunction, such as and, but, or, so, for, nor, and yet. The easy way to remember this conjunction is fanboys, which is for and nor, but, or, yet, and so. For example, 6 people took the course, but only 5 of them passed the test. 7 bought the cake.
So when you join 2 simple sentences, 2 independent clauses with a coordinating conjunction, we use a comma, as in this example, because we have 2 sentences here, simple sentences, independent clauses. 6 people took the course. You can add a full stop and then begin another sentence, capital letter. Only 5 of them passed the test. When combining them to make them a compound sentence, we're going to talk about types of sentences in terms of structural complexity in a short while. You use a comma here. Okay, move on. Skip the other example. Understood?
The third one, a comma is used to separate an introductory word or phrase from the rest of the sentence. For example, in conclusion, doctors are advising people to take more vitamins. First, you will need a pencil. Because of the heavy rain, many of the words were flooded. The next one, a comma is used to separate an appositive from the rest of the sentence. An appositive is a word or a group of words that rename a noun. And appositive provides additional information about the noun.
Dr. Aladdin, comma, a Palestinian, comma, is whatever you want to say. So you separate the appositive, a Palestinian, you set it off with two commas here. So this is one of the uses of the comma to set off an appositive phrase.
Yes.
A position, yes.
Yes. Next. Okay. A comma is sometimes used with adjective clause. An adjective clause usually begin with a relative pronoun, which is who, that, which, whom, whose, whoever, or whomever. We use a comma when the information in the clause is unnecessary or extra. It is also called a non-restrictive clause. Okay, for example, the book that is on the teacher's desk is the main book for this class. When you say the book, the reader does not know which book you are talking about. So the information in the adjective clause is necessary. In this case, do not set off the adjective clause with a comma. For the next example, the history of Korea, which is on the teacher's desk, is the main book for this class. The name of the book is given, so the information in the adjective clause is not necessary to help the reader identify the book. In this case, you must use commas to show that the information in the adjective clause is extra or non-resurrective.
So if information is necessary, no need for the commas. If the information is unnecessary, meaning it's omissible, you can take it out, then you need commas, as in these two examples. In the second example, the information in the adjective phrase, the non-restrictive phrase, technically speaking, is unnecessary or omissible. You can take it out. It will not affect the meaning. You can read the sentence without it. The history of Korea is the main book for this class. But in the first example, if you take out the adjective, the relative clause, or the adjective clause, then it will affect the meaning. The book is the main book for this class. Which book? So it is non-omissible. You cannot delete it. So when you can delete, as in the second example, we need to set off this clause with commas. When you cannot delete it, then there's no need for the commas. Okay, move on.
Okay, the next one is apostrophe. Apostrophe have two basic use in English. They indicate either a contraction or a possession. Contraction. Use an apostrophe in a contraction in place of the letter or letters that have been deleted. For example, his, which means he is or he has. The next one, they are, which means they are. And the next one, I have. Okay. Okay. The next apostrophe is possession. Use an apostrophe to indicate possession. Add an apostrophe and the letter S after the word. If plural word already ends in S, then just add an apostrophe. For example, Gandhi's role in the history of India. The next example, yesterday's paper. The boy's book, which one boy has some books, and the boys' books. Several boys have one or more books. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about quotation marks. I'm going to present three most common quotation marks.
Your voice, please. Louder.
Okay, first is to mark the exact word that was spoken by someone. For example, the king said, "I refuse to give up my throne." As you can see, the period is inside the quotation marks. Next is, none of the solution is correct. State the professor. The comma is inside the quotation marks. And lastly, the king said that he refused to give up his throne. As you can see, there is no quotation marks are needed because the sentence does not include king's exact words. This style is called indirect speech. Note that the comma separates the verb that tells the form of communication and the quotation. Second is to mark language that a writer has borrowed from another source. For example, the dictionary defines gossip as a trivial rumor of personal nature, but I would add that it is usually malicious. Second is, this research concludes that there was no real reason to expect this computer software program to produce good results with high school students. Lastly, according to an article in the St. Joe's Times, about half of the money was stolen. No quotes are necessary here, but it is a summary of information rather than exact word from the article. Next is to indicate when a word or phrase is being used in a special way. For example, the king believed himself to be the leader of the democracy, so he allowed the prisoner to choose his method of dying. According to the king, allowing his kind of democracy showed that he was indeed a good ruler. I'm going to talk about semicolons. The semicolon is used most often to combine two related sentences. After you practice using the semicolon, it will be a very easy and useful punctuation tool in your writing. Use a semicolon where you want to connect two simple sentences. Next is the function of a semicolon is similar to that of a period. However, in order to use a semicolon, there must be a relationship between the sentences. For example, Joy loves to play tennis. He has been playing since he was 10 years old. Next is Joy loves to play tennis. He has been playing since he was 10 years old. As you can see, both pair sentences are connected, are correct. The main difference is the semicolon in the second example signals the relationship between the ideas in two sentences. Notice also that he is not capitalized in the second example.
And so, in this usage of the semicolon, we use semicolon instead of a full stop. Instead of a full stop. So both of these sentences are correct. So when you as the writer, when you feel that you want the two clauses, when you feel that two clauses are close and you wish to convey them in one sentence, then you use a semicolon to make it one sentence. Because the two clauses are very close, the idea is very close. You don't wish to indicate complete separation, because each sentence or clause has an idea. So it can be used instead of a full stop if you, as the writer, wish to show that the two clauses are very close. Okay, go on.
Okay, I will be presenting about sentence types, which on page 213 to 215. There are three basic types of sentences. First, simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence. However, complex sentence
excuse me. I would like to let's take a 10-minute break. I think we all need a break. Though what I have actually needs about an hour and a half, and looking at the time, I don't know. So let's take anyhow a 10-minute break. Please be back as quickly as possible. Maximum 10 minutes. Okay? Go and have a drink.
And also she did like this.
حق إلا ما تكون هي الحمام. طب إيش احتمال؟ أنا خلص، أنا تعبت. ما بقدرش أنا خلص، هذا المطبخ هذا شوية بطلع منه. شوف وين قبالي. مش معقول التخمير، مش معقول. أنا بعملها. يا علاء. بطلعوش. انت مش قادر تسكرها كويس تلاقيك. هذا اصلا ممكن يفوت منها. انا خلص انا هلا
هذا اللي انت بتسميه الحجم المتوسط هو نوع معين مختلف.
لا طب امبارح كان كبير اول امبارح. على اطفي اذا كان.
اعتقد الصوت مع بدل المحاضرة. اعتقد المايك مغلق.
مغلق؟ كان مغلق؟ شفت؟ هذا من البيع ستوني من البيع. لا انا بفوته ولا شيء بالنسبه لنا.
انا بحكي الحين البيت ويسمع فيش طبيعي يعني
برضه نفوت هيك.
انا هدول لله هدول حديد مش حديد.
مش قادرة أنا مش قادرة
أنا لابد نعرف المصدر.
مش قادرة والله ما قادرة. أنا مش قادرة أقف قدام السرير.
الصراصير في كل مكان. هذا مش إنه من وين ممكن يعني المصدر. يعني حتى تحت ما فيش بلوعات، البلوعة الوحيدة
يمكن عجبني باب الكناكة.
وين؟
الباب اللي ورا.
يا عمي هو مسكر.
ايه؟ بس هدول بيكملوا يعني.
أنا حاطط تيب يعني هذا مسكر وأنا
حاطط تيب.
والطلعت والشباك مسكر.
المية بتقدرش تنزل صحيح. لا صحيح. ما فيش إلا هذا الباب صدقني هذا.
مش ممكن من نفس الهيئة بتاعت المطبخ
كل يوم احنا بنلاقي سنة يعني كل يوم بنلاقي واحد. وهذا طلع اليوم. هذا يعني طلع الليلة. يا الله وين متخبي يا الله. مش مبين بالقمامة ولا مبين؟ يعني مش طبيعي عليها.
وصودي دادي. دادي.
احنا خلي طاقتنا في الميل من وين بيطلعوا عشان نقدر نعالج الامر. هذا الباب كان حتما يعبر منه من تحت.
طب ما هو الباقي انا هي
مش هي وين الصوصي بالنسبه للي بس لونهم بيطلعوا. خلص المحاضرة أحاول أشوف إذا كان من فوق في يعني مجال ولا لا.
لهالدرجة بيبان الصراصير استنينا هلا شيء يعني مسكرين بشكل عام. ودي احنا مش مسكرين مكان مليان معنا ولا لا؟
بعدين
والله ما أنا عارفة. أنا المهم إنك تشوف حالك مش قادرة. دي كمان ما عايزين نتخبى بس عاد نلاقيه. متوسط هو. هذا بقى لكن الشوارب رهيبة. أنا شفتهم الشعر طلع إيش الشعر هذا. طيب والله لو برا معلش يدوروا على
يا رب السؤال من وين؟ هو انا كده برضه محترف.
انا ما بدي اشوف مشاكل فيها بصراحه هم من بطل.
يا فاطمة كيف يدخل من هذه؟ إيه اللي كان من ناحية ثانية من الباب.
والحمام النظر إذا فتحتها شوية إذا فتحتها هذه كيف أنت شفتها ممكن يفوت ولا لا؟ بس الأول جمعت مي رحت فتحتها.
لا ما فتحتها، تقف في نصها المفك، حطيت المفك على النار عمل ثقب
ما طلعش منه؟
هو الثقب أصغر من إنه يطلع
منه يمكن هم بداروا حالهم. شفتوا أنت الثقب؟ شغال تحكيش أنت. نشوف واحدة بدارها يلا الحين أمي عليها.
يعني لو الواحد سوى مية
ليش نعمل شيء؟
وقلت عليها مية تتحول انت على الجنب هتنزل مع السمك. كان عامل الثقب جوا. بس ما اعتقدش يعني انه خلص المحاضرة بحاول اشوف بس هنا شوية هدوء والله بكمل المحاضرة. عمل Yeah, it might be 1 hour from now. Julie, quiet. Yes, Bob. So quiet now. Hi guys. Let's please resume the class.
Sure, no problem.
Go ahead. So now we're going to talk about the last topic, and that is sentence types from a structural point of view, the structural complexity. And by the way, but let me leave this now to the presenters. Go ahead.
Okay, may I continue?
Before that, please do not forget to work on the exercises, the activities that follow the punctuation marks in the handout. There are many exercises useful to do. You can work with a classmate and they check, each other's work. Go ahead.
Okay, I will be presenting about sentence type. On page 213, sentence type that we are going to present.
Sophia,
simple sentences.
Sophia, turn on your camera. Keep your camera on, please. Okay, sentence types. Hello?
Hello, can you see me, doctor?
No, I cannot see you. I can see the slides, but not you. You don't have a camera?
I'm sorry, I think my camera is... Yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay, so we will be presenting about simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, and complex sentences with adverb clauses. Next. The first one is simple sentence. Simple sentence consists of one independent clause that is usually contain one subject and one verb. For example, kids love television. In this sentence, it has one subject, which is kids, and one verb, which is love. Sometimes simple sentences can contain more than one subject or verb. For example, Brazil and the United States are large countries. In this sentence, it has two subjects, which is Brazil and the United States, and one verb, which
So
is
this
or.
is a simple sentence with a compound subject. Compound subject. You could have a simple subject, one, or a compound subject, and you can have a simple verb, one verb, or a compound verb. But the sentence is still simple. Simple in the sense that it has only one idea.
And the next example is, we traveled throughout Brazil and ended our trip in Argentina. Yeah. So the second, which is we, and two verb, which is travel and ended. Next. And conjunctions that we can use.
Muhammad, Amr, turn off your devices. I have lost internet connection. Any devices that are not necessary, please turn them off.
The best verbs. And to merge these two complete thoughts into one compound sentence, we must use a comma and the coordinating conjunction fanboys. And a little reminder, when merging the two simple sentences using coordinating conjunctions, the two complete thoughts in compound sentence must relate to each other for it to make sense as a whole. That's it for my pass to Rose.
Okay, so I'll be talking about the complex sentence. So what is a complex sentence? A complex sentence is a sentence that contains an independent clause and one or more dependent clause. An independent clause can stand alone as a sentence, but a dependent clause, even though it has subject and verb, it cannot stand alone. Next.
Right.
Next slide, please. Okay, so independent clause.
Irene, slide before that, please. I think Rose is still connection.
Excuse me, sir. So, for example, independent clause and dependent clause. So here's an example of an independent clause. Katie sipped on her cappuccino. This is an independent clause because it is a completed sentence and contain a subject and a verb and a fully expressing an idea. This is dependent clause. Example, while Katie sipped on her cappuccino. Although this sentence contains a subject, a verb, and it's not a complete thought. We still need more information, therefore it is not a complete sentence.
The meaning is dependent on another clause. That's right.
Yes. Next, please. Okay, so here's an idea. Here's an idea of. When we say remove it from the oven, we can understand what they're trying to say. But when someone say when the cake is brown, it's still uncompleted and it is not completed sentence. So this is a dependent clause and remove it from the oven is a dependent clause. Next. So here's an example of adverb clauses. So adverb clauses in condition, there's even if, if, only if, unless, in case, adverb clauses in place, anywhere, where, everywhere, wherever. Um, adverb clauses of time, there's after, as soon as, before, by the time, once, since, till, until, when, while, whenever. Adverb clauses of reasons as, because, now that, since. Adverb clauses of contrast is although, even though, whereas, while. And adverb of degree comparison is then, as, so as, or the, and the.
These are
Next
examples
slide.
of what I'm going to call subordinating conjunctions in my part of the discussion. Subordinating conjunctions, which we use to form or construct complex sentences. These are, as opposed to the conjunctions that we use to form compound sentences. These are the other types of conjunctions we use for compound sentences is known as coordinating conjunctions. So these are subordinating conjunctions for complex sentences, and we have coordinating conjunctions, the fanboys, the seven conjunctions that are used to link independent clauses to make a compound sentence. So there are two types of clauses, dependent and independent, and there are two types of sentences, compound and complex, and there are two types of conjunctions, coordinating and subordinating. So these are subordinating. Okay.
Next slide. So here's how to use adverb clauses. So here's an example. You finish dressing, full stop, I will wait here, full stop. So to combine this word with adverb clauses, this is here the combined word. I will wait here until you finish. Until is the adverb clause.
Or, for example, while you're dressing, I'll wait here. While you are dressing, I'll be waiting here. Okay?
Yes.
So until and while are subordinating conjunctions.
So that's it from my group, and we have prepared a quiz. So can we play the quiz?
All right, sure. While you're waiting for the rest to join, let me just read this message which I have just received from someone from Palestine. Must be one of my students back. Life is good, but without people like you, Dr. Ala, this is my nickname, or the first part of my name, because my name is a compound name made up of Ala and Iddin. So Ala, they call me back then. So life is good, but without people like you, Dr. Ala, there will be something missing.
I mean, that person is not wrong.
Is not wrong. Thank you. Will you feel the same thing when I go back home one day?
Of course.
I'll be missing you too also. You are missable.
Is there anyone else? I think you can start.
So which subordinating conjunction do we need to link these two clauses to make a complex sentence? Yep. Same thing, this is a complex, meant to be a complex sentence. Two clauses, one independent and one dependent. Maybe not at least. A compound sentence contains two independent clauses. That's it. Not at least. Just two. Without at least. Because if we have more than two independent clauses, then this is going to be a compound complex sentence. So what's the point? It's like asking what is the communicative function. Expresses a range of emotions: surprise, happiness, sorrow.
Alright, that is all from our group. Thank you so much for being with us, and I hope you guys get all of the points. Thank you.
Thank you. We've enjoyed your presentation, and you've got 9 out of 10. Your presentation was enlightening and informative. All right. Let me.
Thank you, Doctor.
Now let me quickly. Well, how quick can I be? How quick can I be? There is really a lot, but I have maybe to cut short what I was planning to say. Okay, let's begin now with a video about sentence types, about connecting ideas. Connecting ideas using using coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions. English sentence structure includes 4 basic types of sentences: simple, compound, complex, and compound complex. These labels indicate how the information in a sentence is organized, not how difficult the content is. Okay, let me go to a video about ways to connect ideas. By the way, we express ideas into clauses or sentences. Let me define the concept clause. A clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. A clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. There are 2 types of clauses. There are independent clauses and there are dependent clauses. So as the name suggests, independent clauses can stand on their own and these can form simple sentences. Dependent clauses or subordinate clauses, on the other hand, cannot stand on their own. So now we're going to look at 2 mechanisms that can be used to join or connect clauses, resulting in different types of sentences when it comes to structure: compound sentences and complex sentences, and compound complex sentences. Let me present. Alright, can you see the video?
Yes, Doctor.
Hello, I'm Margot Politis. Welcome to Study English, IELTS preparation. Today we're going to look at ways of connecting ideas. There are many ways of doing this using conjunctions, words that join. First, let's listen to Paul Gibson, an architect, while he takes us on a tour of his new, environmentally friendly solar house.
Well, we completed it about 2 years ago, and I guess one of the interesting things about it is that it's a fibro house, and most houses, I guess these days, are brick veneer, whereas this is fibre on the outside, timber on the outside, but there's bricks on the inside. Well, I guess the very high windows along the north side, going down to the lower ceiling height on the south, basically allows you to get a lot of sun in through these windows in winter, and the louvers which go out actually go to a point where the sun can be shaded completely in summer, but they can be opened to let the sun right back into the house through winter. This house actually has two north faces. There's the north face of all the living rooms, 3 actually, and then the master bedroom has a north face, and the other bedrooms also have a north face. So it's trying to maximise what we call the aperture of the house, which is how much sun you actually get into in winter.
Okay, now we've listened to Paul, let's look at the way he connected his ideas. Good communication, especially in an academic setting, is all about expressing and connecting both simple and complex ideas. There are many ways to do this. Simple sentences express a single, simple idea. The most simple sentence consists of just a subject and a verb. The door opens. The woman enters. The easiest way of connecting ideas is using coordination. That's taking 2 simple sentences and linking them with a conjunction or a joining word. The most common conjunctions are and but. Other common ones are yet, or, for, and so. We use the most simple conjunctions in place of a full stop. The door opens. The woman enters. The door opens and the woman enters. The door opens. The woman doesn't enter. The door opens, but the woman doesn't enter. Listen to an example here.
Well, we completed it about 2 years ago, and I guess one of the interesting things about it is that it's a fibro house, and most houses, I guess these days, are brick veneer.
It's a fibro house, and most houses are brick veneer. It is a fibro house. Most houses are brick veneer. These are 2 simple sentences. They can be linked together to form a longer sentence called a compound sentence. It is a fibro house, and most houses are brick veneer. Compound sentences have 2 independent clauses. 2 clauses that can be separate sentences. Here's another one.
Ceiling height on the south basically allows you to get a lot of sun in through these windows in winter, and the louvers which go out actually go to a point where the sun can be shaded completely in summer, but they can be opened to let the sun right back into the house through winter.
He's talking about the louvers. He joins together 2 sentences. The louvers go to a point where the sun can be shaded completely in summer. They can be opened to let the sun back in through winter. He joins these sentences together using but. Notice we use a comma as well. The louvers go to a point where the sun can be shaded completely in summer, comma, but they can be opened to let the sun back in through winter. The conjunctions and but can also be used to join words and phrases in lists. We separate words with commas and then use a final and. The house is made of fibro. The house is made of fibro and timber. The house is made of fibro, timber and bricks. Listen to this example.
Most houses, I guess these days, are brick veneer, whereas this is fibre on the outside, timber on the outside, but there's bricks on the inside.
He forms 1 compound sentence from simple sentences. The house is fibro on the outside. It is timber on the outside. It is bricks on the inside. Notice that and is used to list similar things, but is used to contrast different items in a list. So we could also say the house is fibro and timber on the outside, but bricks on the inside. Okay, so that's an introduction to coordination. Remember, coordination is linking independent clauses with conjunctions. This forms compound sentences. Another way to join ideas is using subordination. Subordination is linking an independent clause with a dependent clause to make a complex sentence.
Using subordinating conjunctions. So in compound sentences, we have again two clauses, but both are independent, meaning you can add a full stop after the first clause and begin the second with a capital letter and have two completely separate simple sentences. But we join because we don't use all the time simple sentences, because using simple sentences in a paragraph or an essay, all simple sentences will sound choppy and will sound uninteresting. And so we vary our structure. We use compound sentences, simple sentences, complex sentences to create variety and interest. And this, will impress examiners and readers. They will get the idea or impression that your grammatical range is good enough. So one way to join two independent clauses is to use a coordinating conjunction, one of the 7 in fanboys, to create a compound sentence. Another way to join clauses is to have one independent clause and another dependent clause and join them using a subordinating conjunction, a conjunction such as whether, a conjunction such as after, before, whenever, when, although, because, etc., etc., creating what we call a complex sentence.
Dependent clauses are clauses that cannot exist separately in separate sentences. They need or depend on each other. We can form complex sentences in two ways. We can use relative pronouns, who, whose, which, where, or we can use conjunctions like because or whereas.
This is the man whose wife I knew many years ago. This is the man whose wife I knew many years ago. So this is the man is an independent clause. It can be a sentence on its own, a simple sentence. Whose wife I knew many years ago is the dependent clause. Whose wife I knew many years ago is the dependent clause. So when we have a dependent and an independent clause, we create a complex sentence. And the linker or conjunction, the linker can be a conjunction, subordinating conjunction, or a relative pronoun like these pronouns.
When writing or speaking, it's important for you to practice using a variety of sentences. You'll need to use simple, compound, and complex sentences. Here's another example.
Trying to maximise what we call the aperture of the house, which is how much sun you actually get into in winter.
He uses an independent and a dependent clause here. Look at these two sentences. They are trying to maximise the aperture of the house.
Opening.
The aperture of the house is how much sun you get. He joins these two sentences together with a relative pronoun. They are trying to maximise the aperture of the house, comma, which is how much sun you get. Now let's practice that. Join these simple sentences to make compound sentences using coordination. Here, try to use and but. The master bedroom has a north face. The other bedrooms have a north face. The master bedroom and the other bedrooms have a north face. And here's another one. The house is warm in winter. The house is cool in summer.
But cool. The house is warm
The
in
house
winter,
is warm in winter,
but
comma,
cool
but it's cool in summer.
in
Now let's
summer.
practice subordination. That's making two sentences into one complex sentence. Try using whereas. The house is warm in winter. Most houses are cold in winter. This can become the house is warm in winter,
Whereas.
comma, whereas most houses are cold in winter. And here's another one. Here, try to link the sentences using which. The house is made of fibro. Fibro is a cheap building material.
Which is a cheap building material.
The
Comma,
house is made of fibro,
comma,
which is a cheap building material.
a complex sentence.
You'll need to practice forming simple, compound, and complex sentences. There are many ways to do it, and many different ways of punctuating.
And there are compound complex, where you have a combination of compound clauses and a complex clause. We can have a fourth type, compound complex sentences. And so in a compound complex sentence, you at least have three clauses, two dependent and two independent compound and one dependent. In simple, you have only one clause, compound two clauses, complex two clauses, compound complex three clauses and more or more.
There are many ways to do it, and many different ways of punctuating. This is very important for your written work. And that's all for today. I'll see you next time on Study English. Bye-bye.
I will upload this video on I have already actually uploaded this video and the other notes and videos onto my Guru, so please consult them. I have no time to go through these notes, but you can either get access to them on my Guru, or try to get a pen drive and get a copy of my earlier lecture or a class with group A. I went through them in some detail, connecting ideas. So using these types of relationship, coordination and subordination. Co means literally, co means under, co as a prefix means equal. And so compound sentences have two equally structured clauses, meaning both of them have a subject and a verb, and both of them are independent. Co means equal, coordination. The two clauses are equally structured, or the grammatical structure is equal. Not one independent and one dependent. No, both are independent. I like my sister, comma, and I like my brother. So here we have two clauses that are equally structured. I like my sister and I like my brother. So if we take the coordinating conjunction and out and add a full stop after the first clause, I like my brother, full stop, and capitalize the next, I like my sister, we can have two completely simple sentences. One wishing to combine them to make them one sentence to create variety in our writing, because we do not want to use simple sentences all the time, to avoid being choppy and boring. So we combine them using a coordinating conjunction, one of the 7 in fanboys, creating a compound sentence. So this is coordination. The other mechanism, the network.
I let him turn off, then he turned it on again.
You lost your network connection. Why is he? Is he having a class?
Yeah, from 8 to 12. and it's a class as yours. I mean, it takes a lot of internet. And every day like that, I'm gonna tell you.
Is here is I don't know what to say. Daddy has lost connection. Hi guys.
Yes, sir.
So this is coordination. Another mechanism to connect clauses is to use subordination. Subordination, the prefix sub means under, not co-equal. And so the two clauses are not grammatically equal. One is independent, the other is dependent. They are not equal. Joining an independent clause to a dependent clause creates a complex sentence. Using a subordinating conjunction. There are many subordinating conjunctions. These are coordinating conjunctions, all the 7. You can look at them and the examples at home. This has already been uploaded on my Guru. You can look at the examples using different coordinating conjunctions. For example, or ginger can be used for treating a cold, or it can aid in the digestive process. So these are two grammatically equal clauses. They can be separated into simple sentences. Subordinating conjunctions are used to link a dependent clause with an independent clause. For example, when students complete the 2 prerequisites, they will be eligible for the business course. So here we have a dependent clause, the first one, because the meaning is not complete. If you add a full stop here, it will make no sense. It will be what we call in writing a fragment, and you must avoid the fragments. When students complete the 2 prerequisites, they will be eligible for the business course. So the second clause is independent. You can take it out and make it a sentence, a simple sentence on its own. These 2 clauses are joined using the subordinating conjunction when. Students will be eligible for the business course when they complete the 2 prerequisites. And these are other examples of subordinating conjunctions, so please look at them at home. Now there is another video that I would like to whiz through with you by Margot Palitis. So let's also watch it. Sentence types. Sentence types.
Hello and welcome to Study English IELTS Preparation. I'm Margot Politis. One of the criteria used to assess your writing in the IELTS test is called grammatical range and accuracy. The examiners will look at the number of mistakes you make and also at the range of sentence types you use.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
First, you're not presenting. Second, I suggest, what about you send the video on WhatsApp? I think we can watch it at home.
Why didn't you tell me that I wasn't presenting?
I'm telling you right now.
Fine, but what about what I said before?
What, before you were presenting?
Great.
Before this.
Okay, here is the video. If anyone cannot, if anyone wishes to leave, if you are under pressure, you can leave. Those who can wait can watch it together. Where are we?
Doctor?
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, may I leave? Because I'm having a huge headache right now. And I can't learn for too long, or otherwise I will have treasure headache.
Fine, you can leave. As I said, anyone who feels he or she has to leave can leave.
Thank you so
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're not going really to add many new points, the same points, but I'm trying to reinforce your understanding. So if you want to leave, nothing will be new. Here is the video for those who can wait. Am I presenting now? Okay.
Hello and welcome to Study English IELTS Preparation. I'm Margot Politis. One of the criteria used to assess your writing in the IELTS test is called grammatical range and accuracy. The examiners will look at the number of mistakes you make and also at the range of sentence types you use. What is the range of sentence types? There is a simple sentence, like this. Pollution is a problem. This example shows you the basic structure. A subject, pollution, a verb, is, and the object, a problem. A simple sentence can have more words than this. You can add adjectives. Pollution is a serious problem. Air pollution is a serious problem. And you can add information with a preposition like in. Air pollution is a serious problem in the city. Or from. Air pollution from cars is a serious problem in the city. So a simple sentence doesn't have to be short or simple. Most of the time, the thing that's simple about simple sentences is the idea they express. Listen to some typical simple sentences in this piece about an old theatre.
It's a lovely theatre. It has excellent acoustics. It's a classic three-tiered horseshoe-shaped auditorium.
You tend to use simple sentences for straightforward information. It is a lovely theatre to work in. It has excellent acoustics. You can add detail, but the idea is not complicated. Listen again.
It's a classic three-tiered horseshoe-shaped auditorium.
But it's best to use a variety of sentence types and not just a list of simple sentences. Listen to this.
The foundation stone was laid in 1834 and the theatre opened in 1837.
You can join two simple sentences together with and. The two sentences are, the foundation stone was laid in 1834. The theatre opened in 1837. Joining them with and gives you a compound sentence. Listen again.
The foundation stone was laid in 1834 and the theatre opened in 1837.
But what type of sentence do you use if you want to say something a little more complicated? Listen.
Although the Theatre Royal has some disadvantages, such as the columns, which people don't like sitting behind, it still has atmosphere.
This sort of sentence is called a complex sentence. A complex sentence isn't just two sentences joined together. Some parts of a complex sentence might not be a complete idea. For instance, the first part of this sentence is quite long with a subject, verb, and object, but it isn't complete.
Although the Theatre Royal has some disadvantages, such as the columns, which people don't like sitting behind,
that doesn't express a complete thought. It needs a simple sentence to finish it.
It still has atmosphere.
If you take the detail out, you have a structure like this. Although the theatre has disadvantages, it has atmosphere. Although the theatre has disadvantages is what is called a dependent clause. It depends on a simple sentence. It has atmosphere to become complete and form a complex sentence. Here is another complex sentence.
When you stand in the middle of the stage, you can talk to everybody.
When you stand in the middle of the stage. That's a dependent clause. It needs another simple sentence or independent clause to make sense. When you stand in the middle of the stage, you can talk to everybody. You can even change the order of the clauses and say, you can talk to everybody when you stand in the middle of the stage. Apart from although and when, some of the words used to create dependent clauses like this are which, that, because, after, and where. Knowing how to use them is important. It's something you should practice. There is one other type of sentence, which is a combination of compound and complex sentences like this.
When the theatre was first built, it was said to look like a two-storey house, and on the outside of the building you can see the stone windowsills.
Normally, people use a range of sentence types, as we've seen with the man talking about the theatre. It's your ability to use these various sentence types that the examiners notice. Listen as he finishes with a complex sentence, a simple sentence, and a complex compound sentence.
If I could sum up this theatre in a few words, I suppose I could call it an international theatre star. This is the oldest theatre in Australia. It's been operating for 159 years and, who knows, it might still be here in another 159 years.
His first sentence was complex. Sentences with if are mostly complex because an if clause depends on another sentence to make sense. Listen.
If I could sum up this theatre in a few words, I suppose I could call it an international theatre star.
Remember that a simple sentence can consist of a subject, this, a verb, is, and an object. The oldest theatre in Australia. Listen.
This is the oldest theatre in Australia.
A compound sentence is two sentences joined by but, or, as here, and.
It's been operating for 159 years and, who knows, it might still be here in another 159 years.
There are two sentences here joined by and. The second part is complex with the dependent clause, who knows.
Who knows, it might still be here in another 159 years.
So we've seen what can go right, what can go wrong. A simple sentence must have a verb. Is this a sentence? The house in the country.
No.
No. It looks like a sentence, but there is no verb. Let's add a verb. The house is in the country. That's a simple sentence. The main problem people have with compound sentences is a mistake called a run-on sentence. It's when two simple sentences are run together without using a conjunction, such as and or but. Look at this. The theatre is small. It is beautiful. That's a run-on sentence.
Yeah, please avoid run-on sentences. We're going to talk about this also later in subsequent weeks. This can be, you can fix this problem by one of two methods. Either you use two simple sentences, you break down this into two simple sentences, two clauses. The theatre is small, full stop, and you capitalize this, it is beautiful, and full stop, separating them into two clauses, two independent clauses, and so two simple sentences. The other way to fix this is to make the two ideas, the two clauses, one sentence by joining them using a coordinating conjunction. Since these are independent clauses, it is beautiful, the theatre is small. So use a conjunction, a coordinating conjunction. In this case, it should be, let's look at the relationship. The theater is small, beautiful, a contrasting relationship, a relationship of contrast. So it should be but. The theater is small, comma, but it is beautiful. So despite being small, it is beautiful. So these are the two ways to fix a sentence like this. So please avoid writing sentences like this. Either you separate it into two simple sentences, or you join them using the proper conjunction, a coordinating conjunction.
It's either two simple sentences, the theatre is small, it is beautiful, or it's a compound sentence. The theatre is small, but it is beautiful. So let's recap. A simple sentence is basically a subject, pollution, a verb, is, and an object, a problem. It's also called an independent clause. A compound sentence is two independent clauses joined by a conjunction such as and, but, or so. A complex sentence is a combination of a dependent clause or clauses with an independent clause. It's a good way to express some of your ideas in an essay. Be careful. Using too many simple sentences can make your writing choppy and dull, and too many long sentences can make it difficult to follow your ideas. So use both. That's all for now. To find more information about sentence types, visit our Study English website. Good luck with your studies.
I'm about to end the class. I am about to end the class, baby. Keep it quiet. Alright, that's all class for today's session. I have already, as I said, uploaded the notes and the slides for this week. Please make a copy of these notes and handouts. Make sure you understand everything and you start applying these rules and your understanding to improve your writing proficiency. We shall meet, God willing, next week. I've just WhatsApped you the assignment for this week for the portfolio composition. The topic of this week's assignment is qualities of a good teacher. Qualities of a good teacher. So the same like before, each one of you in the group, in the respective group, should write a paragraph about this topic, and then you make a meeting where you all sit down and look at each other's composition, select one from the 5 or 6 pieces, improve it, refine it, and then send it to me with the others being attached, just like what we did before. And I should expect this by the end of the week, so meaning by Monday, next Monday. Just a day before the next session. Any questions? Alright, if you have no questions, then let me end the class. Best of luck, see you next week. Take care.
Alright, sir. Thank you, sir.
See you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
ليش البنت بتعيط؟